What's up, everyone? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. I'm Denise Salcedo, and it is the August 13th edition of both WWE SmackDown and the world's premiere of AEW Rampage. 3 hours of professional wrestling, which we're going to get into here today. I, for one, cannot wait to jump into both shows because we kind of had a lot that went down, especially on Rampage. They really jam-packed that 1 hour. A lot of action went on there. So before I get started, I do want to ask everybody on here, do you guys want me to get started with AEW Rampage talk, or do you guys want me to get started with SmackDown talk? I'm going to have you, the people, decide what I cover first, and I'm based on the super chats that we're getting. I think we're going to kick things off with Rampage because I was kind of debating okay, everybody's writing Rampage. All right, we're going to kick things off with Rampage conversation, and then after that, you guys better not leave me because we're going to talk WWE SmackDown right afterwards. All right, guys, everybody's hitting me with Rampage. Now I just feel dumb for asking the question. All right, but here we go, guys. Before we get into Rampage, I'm going to read a couple of super chats which are all about Rampage and what went down on the show here tonight. Again, it was literally just 1 hour of action, but within that 1 hour, we got so much. So here we go. Our first super chat of the day. Thank you so much to Nick Grasso, who says, I don't agree with Kenny Omega losing right now. After this, who wants to see it again at All Out? So I have a feeling, I don't know how people are going to feel about the events that unfolded with Christian Cage and Kenny Omega. We will get into what actually went down, but just really quickly, we do have a new Impact World Champion in Christian Cage, and it does still seem that we are getting Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega at All Out. And if you guys were here for my Dynamite show, you all know that I was one of those people that thought that something was going to go down in this match today that was going to end up eliminating Christian Cage from the actual show. Now, we still got a couple of shows left until AEW All Out, but based on what we saw here tonight, I'm assuming I feel a lot differently than I did on Wednesday. I feel that this is going to be the match that we see at All Out. Now, this could again just be a long continuation of a swerve. I do not know, but I feel that not everybody, there are going to be some people that want to see this match, especially based off of the match that they had today, that you can consider a nice little preview of what they can offer at All Out. Or people are not going to want to see this match. And I was kind of seeing a little bit of both from people. So again, we'll find out today how you, the people, feel about it. Thank you so much to Nick Grasso for sending in this first super chat of the day. We got another one over from Ray O. Thank you so much to Ray, who says, I need a 2-hour okay, Ray O says he needs 2-hour AEW shows per week. Them shows are so much fun. He says, I haven't felt this excited about wrestling since I was a kid. So when they first announced that Rampage was going to be airing immediately after SmackDown, I thought to myself, oh my God, that's going to be 3 hours of wrestling that I'm going to have to cover on Friday when I already covered 3 hours of wrestling on Monday. And at first I was kind of like, all right, at least it's Rampage. It's only going to be an hour. It's not going to be a 2-hour show. I was kind of thinking of things in that sense. And now I'm thinking, man, I would have loved an extra hour of AEW Rampage today. Tonight's show literally felt like a 30-minute show. It just went by so fast. And now it's kind of like, it's a nice, I don't know. I don't want to call it a preview to Dynamite. I don't know what to call it, but it's kind of a nice bonus to have these stories and these moments play out on Rampage. So thank you so much to Ray O. I do kind of agree with him. I would like to see more time on Rampage, but it's okay for now. We got another super chat from Ryan T, who says, Jamie Hayter, Rampage equals Jake Hager equals Dynamite. We're continuing the similarity in the names. We will talk about Jamie later on today, but thank you so much to Ryan T for sending in this super chat here today. And we got a couple more super chats, and then I'm going to kick it off with the top of AEW here today. We got one from YT who says, I'm not crying. you're crying. This is my first ever super chat, and it's for Fuego del Sol. Dude, Fuego del Sol, holy cow. Man, I kind of wanted to cry a little bit. Like, my lip, I couldn't hold a stiff upper lip. It was like shaky. I was kind of feeling the feels for Fuego del Sol. So I do agree with this from YT as well. And I'm going to get the last super chat. I think we have another one. This one is from Reggie Simmons, who says, let's get the party started. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Reggie Simmons, for sending in this super chat. We got another one from Colette Adam, who says, seeing Fuego receive his contract got me misty-eyed. Bro, I don't know if he was legitimately crying or he was just pretending to cry. I have no idea, but it worked, man. Daniel Zambrando sends in a super chat and says, after that awesome match and the chemistry between Christian and Kenny, I am hyped for their rematch. Like I said, people are going to feel very differently about this Christian Cage, Kenny Omega situation because, again, it wasn't what many of us were expecting. Flamethrower Fluff Salisbury says, did you see how excited Orange Cassidy was for Christian? ? I've never seen him that happy. Hey, maybe that's a tease for down the road. Thank you so much to Flamethrower for sending in this super chat as well. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. Here we go. Let's jump into AEW Rampage. So, all right. First and foremost, we got a 4-booth commentary team. We got Taz, Excalibur, Chris Jericho, Mark Henry. I will say this much. It was their first show. Having multiple people talk on commentary is always going to be a little bit rough because you got people kind of talking over each other just a little bit. You got one person maybe talking a little bit more than the other. You have people trying to find their moments to jump in. So I hope and I do think that as the weeks continue to progress, that this commentary team will find their nice flow. You had Dasha doing ring announcing, which, by the way, I thought she did phenomenal. I loved listening to her on ring announcing the show. So kudos to her as well. We were in Pittsburgh, the town of Britt Baker. And so let's get into that opening match because I think that's what everybody was talking about after Dynamite. The second this match was made, everybody was talking about it. And then opening up the show, people wanted to know what the hell is going to go on. What is going to happen? Because whatever happens tonight is going to impact the match at AEW All Out. So here we go, guys. We got another super chat from Phil Denier who says, I was one of those people about Kenny versus Cage, but after this match, I am all in for All Out. And here we go. So this match kicked off Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega for the Impact World title. And the crowd is legitimately they're hot AF, all right? They are really into this match. They are feeling it. You can feel the energy in this crowd. I don't know if it was like the fact that this was, I think it was a bunch of things that kind of led to the excitement of the crowd. It was the fact that, this is the premiere. This is the first match on the card. It's a big deal. You got Kenny Omega in the ring. You got, the Impact World title on the line. You have so many things that are contributing to the excitement that the people are feeling here. So then this match gets started. They have a really nice pace. What I particularly liked about Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega is that they were really feeling the crowd here. And you could tell that the energy of the crowd really impacted everything that they were doing in the ring. We see a lot of chops. We see them go back and forth. We see Kenny hit him with a Snapdragon suplex. You see Cage go for the frog splash, gets a 2 count. Then Don Callis ends up distracting the referee. So here's the finish, everybody. Don Callis distracts the referee. Kenny ends up getting Cage with a low blow, and the Bucks use this distraction from Don Callis on the referee to sneak in a steel chair. They give Kenny Omega the steel chair, and Kenny Omega sets it up. He opens up the chair, puts it there in the ring, and he tries to get Christian Cage with the one-winged angel. However, instead, Christian is able to reverse it and ends up getting the kill switch on Kenny Omega, and that is how he is able to get the win. And bam, we have a new Impact World Champion. Immediately after this, you see Jurassic Express and Scott D'Amore come out and congratulate Christian. They're applauding him, etc. And here's the thing. So based on this alone, based on the fact that now Christian Cage took away a title that means something to Kenny Omega, the bout collector, now you kind of have a little bit more of a story. You have more of a story heading into All Out because, again, the match that we were expecting to see at All Out was Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, because there was that story already. In terms of Christian and Kenny, you can say that they didn't really have a big story in comparison to Kenny and Hangman Page. So with that being said, this finish protected Kenny Omega because he used the chair. And so this protected Kenny Omega with that finish. But now I'm thinking to myself, okay, even though this was not the match that I particularly wanted to see at All Out, and I'll still be honest, that was not the match I wanted to see. However, given the events that occurred here today, there's more of a reason for us to want to see the match. And then based on everything that they did in this match, this very nice preview, sort of say, you know they're going to level that up. So if they still go ahead with this match at All Out, it's going to be a good match based on what we saw here today. After this match, we did see an interview with Christian Cage and Mark Henry, who's also doing backstage interviews. And Christian has champagne. He's popping the bottle. He's there with Jurassic Express. And Orange Cassidy is just chilling in the back, just watching him. So that could either be a teaser. Make that for what you will. It could possibly be. So now, guys, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about Christian Cage becoming Impact World Champion? So also, prior to this, a couple of hours before the show, I asked people, do you think that Christian Cage is going to walk out Impact World Champion? I will tell you that, God, based on all the comments that I received, I'm going to say maybe like 70-ish%, maybe even a little bit more, all said no. So I do think that the majority of the people were surprised by him actually winning the Impact World title. So thoughts on Christian winning the Impact title? Thoughts on this being the match at All Out? Send them in, everybody. All right, so here we go, guys. Give me a second because I'm trying to catch up with all of the super chats. And here we go. This one is one from Kareem Hassan, who says, the match was so good, I wouldn't mind it if they both signed with the WWE and only faced each other over and over again. Kareem, you swerved me on this super chat. I was like, where is Kareem going with this? You want them to sign with WWE, but then your last portion of the super chat made sense to me. All right, we got another super chat from Mario Morales, who says, sorry, my check was short this week. Dude, man, I just appreciate that you're in here. Thank you for sending in a super chat. You're very, very kind. All right, I'm going to scroll through a couple more comments here and get what you guys are saying. We got a super chat from Juan Garcia, who says, never expected Christian to win a bout in AEW when he joined. AEW does treat legends with respect. I think at some point, we all expected to, at some point, see Christian versus Kenny Omega. It was talked about. So many people were having conversations about this on social media and talking about the possibility. Christian Cage even said in a promo himself that was what he was gunning for, but that he understood he had to put the work in first before he even got that opportunity with Kenny Omega. And it looks like he was right. It looks like he stuck to his to his word, to what he said in that promo on, I forget which Dynamite. It might have been the Dynamite right after he debuted, but either way, he did say that. And let's see what else we got here. We got another super chat from Christopher Marino. Thank you so much, Christopher, who says, why was Jericho acting as a heel on commentary? Christopher, my man, you are literally, I was thinking the exact same thing, and I didn't put this out there, but yes, Jericho was acting as a heel on commentary, even though he is technically a baby face. I do not know why. I guess it's just Jericho being Jericho. And then Christopher Marino also adds 2, holy S word, Christian 1, 3, didn't like the stuff after the Britt match. Let her have the home face reaction. You can return her heel on Wednesday. We'll talk about that in a second, but thank you so much for getting in all of your thoughts on the super chat. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much to Christopher Marino. And All right, guys, I'm going to read some non-super chat comments. So if you want to get your thoughts in on how you guys felt about this, send this in. All right, so here we go. Let's get this comment in from Eleni, who says, quote, I was legitimately shocked by the outcome. I thought the chair-assisted one-winged angel would have been how Kenny not only won, but got out of the all-out match. Now, Christian returns home as a conquering hero. Impact on Wednesday should be interesting. Brian Myers has already tweeted the lyrics to Christian's WWE theme ahead of their title match at Emergence. And we're getting so many different thoughts on this, guys. Everybody is just like freaking out about this. Not like freaking out, but I think people for the most part are feeling this. All right. I'm going to scroll through a couple more comments here, and let's see what else you guys have to say about this. All right, this one is from Blowing Smoke 247, who says, it makes all the sense in the world for Christian Cage to dethrone Kenny Omega as the Impact TNA World Champion, as Christian is a former NWA TNA World Champion. Let's see what else we got here. Riff55 says, Kenny loses the AAA title tomorrow, leaving him desperate to protect his AEW Championship. Christian and Andrade get shots at Pretty Platinum. Both lose to a more unhinged, desperate Kenneth Omega. I love this fantasy booking here. Let's see what else we got here. This one is from Sonny Wang, who says, let's see. Says, no, he would not walk out as AEW Christian Cage. Keep it on Omega so that they can drop it on Hangman when he comes back. With Punk debuting, hold him until 2022 to win the title. Mike says it was nostalgic to see Christian Cage win the Impact World title. Curious to see who challenges him for the Impact title from the main roster. And people liking the finish. Havon says amazing finish with a kill switch on the chair. Bloody Blue says Christian as Impact World Champion makes all the sense to me. Maybe he loses the AAA title tomorrow against Andrade. Downward spiral for Omega. We could possibly be heading in that direction. El Profe Jr. 88 says Christian had many doubters among the AEW fans, but I think he deserves a spot at All Out based on his performance tonight. All right. So it seems to me, based on what the people here are saying, a lot of people don't seem to be like, I don't see anybody here being outraged by any means that this is the match that we're getting at All Out. I feel for the most part, people liked how everything played out here tonight. Because I don't feel, and especially, here's the thing too, like it also helped, I think, that Hangman Page also essentially came out and basically said that he posted that tweet about people respecting his privacy, and then the PW Insider report that he had asked for personal time to be with his family, etc., and that this Kenny Omega Hangman Page match was never the intention for All Out. I think given all of these new tidbits of information that we've got, it kind of lets you appreciate more now the direction in which they are heading in. So we got another super chat from Manuel Cifuentes, who says, hey there, DWO, is it just me or did you mark out for a sec thinking that Becky Lynch that was Becky Lynch after the Britt match? Haha, overall a good show though. Dude, for like a split second, I'm not gonna lie to you, I saw the hair and I was like, Becky Lynch? I mean, obviously that was not going to happen, all right? It was just not going to happen. But for a split tiny of a second, I do feel what you mean, Manuel. We got a super chat from Garrett McLeod, who says, the finish works, but if the match and the story doesn't live up to the hype, it will be a big letdown for the AEW community. I had a couple of people that I saw on Twitter writing to me basically saying that they do feel let down by AEW on this. And so I do think that, again, if this is 100% sure the match we're getting, they are going to have to put a banger out there, because if not, the people are going to be like, what the hell? Like, you're going to have to put on a great performance is what I'm getting at here. And that's the thing that we were talking about too last week, is that AEW and their creative and AEW in general has the trust of the people. Even though people were not liking the direction that they were going in, people still kept saying that they had trust in AEW. So at the end of the day, if you have the trust from the fans, you got to treasure that. You got to protect that, and you got to keep that, because that is important. So thank you so much to Garrett McLeod for sending in this super chat. We got another one from Eric. Thank you so much to Eric, who says, does this mean that we will get the cleaner for All Out? It looks like we are. It looks like we are. Thank you so much to Eric for sending in this super chat as well. I appreciate you very, very much. And we got another one from Isaac Penaranda, who says, the Omega versus Cage match actually made me want the match at All Out. It was awesome. Hell yeah. Okay, see, this is maybe what I think. Maybe this was Tony Khan's way of saying, oh, this is a match we're going to do, and I know you don't really want it, but I'm going to show you why you're really going to want it at All Out. So maybe this was Tony Khan's way of getting us to want this match, at least some of us, because I know that obviously not everybody's going to be convinced, guys. And people, you don't got to be convinced, guys. Like, people can like and want what they like and what they want to watch. All right, guys, so there you go. That was pretty much what went down with the opening segment. Let's move on to what everybody here was talking about also, aside from this Christian Cage thing. Fuego del Sol, ladies and gentlemen. So we had the TNT Championship match. Miro defending his title against Fuego del Sol. But Fuego del Sol, not only did he have the TNT title on the line, but he also had a potential contract with AEW. So Fuego del Sol, immediately once this match gets started, he goes right in on Miro and gets him with a tornado DDT. Then he gets him with another. And then he gets him with another. And then Miro ends up getting him with the Bulgarian drop, Samoan drop, Bulgarian drop. Then he gets him with a big kick in the face. Then he locks in the game over. And it really was game over because Fuego tapped out. And immediately I'm thinking, oh man, that is just sad. He's not going to get his contract. That's it. And I was obviously not expecting him to be TNT champion. So I don't know what I was expecting. I think everybody for the most part figured that they were going to rework him getting his contract in a different way, because nobody was expecting Miro to lose that belt. So I did like how they did this, because afterwards you have Miro essentially grab his contract and rips it up and just like leaves it there on the floor. And you get this very nice visual where it's like Fuego's just there, his contract's torn up on the floor, and you're thinking, oh man, poor kid, his dream is over. That's it. It's done. There's also this really funny moment during commentary where Chris Jericho says, what kind of luchador comes from Alabama? Really good line there. But either way, everybody's feeling sad. Poor Fuego del Sol, it's done, right? But then, remember when I said trust the AEW creative? Well, they came up with something here to please the people. You don't want to make the people sad on your first show. So Sammy Guevara comes out. Tony Khan comes out with him. Tony Khan has his like headphones on. You can tell he's a very busy man. Gives him like he gave him a hug. He gives Sammy a hug, kind of like, we talked about this behind the scenes and we're okay. This is what's going on, whatever, right? So Sammy comes to the ring and he has the clipboard. He has the contract. So everybody knows where they're going with this. And Sammy just tells them, you're all elite, and hands him a contract. And Fuego del Sol is like crying. He's got the face going. And I mean, I do not know if those were legitimate tears, but I will tell you that I felt rocked during this. I felt a little bit emotional. I wanted to get up and cheer like my whole life depended on it. So I felt really, really happy for Fuego del Sol during this. This was a very, very nice moment where, I don't know, it just kind of puts you in a good mood. That's all I got to say. It was a good moment. We got a major super chat from Cameron Mumford. Thank you so much to Cameron, who says, quote, yeah, the result of the TNT title match was obvious, but Fuego del Sol getting his contract on live television was absolutely priceless. Simple in execution, but very effective for the moment. It really was. And you can tell that it was because a lot of people are talking about it. And when I come out here and I say, oh, I felt emotional during that, I can guarantee that there's a bunch of other people behind this camera watching this show, nodding their heads and saying, hell yeah, so did I. And so that is a very, like you said, effective moment that was priceless. So a good choice of words there from Cameron. Thank you so much for this awesome super chat. I really appreciate it. And we got another super chat from Anthony Esquibel who says, Fuego, the 13th day. Whoever thought that the Friday the 13th or that the number 13 was an unlucky number is wrong. If I'm Fuego del Sol, I would be rocking the 13 everywhere, okay? Because that was definitely a lucky day for him. Thank you so much to Anthony for sending in this super chat as well. And we got so many people here, man. Everybody is happy. Some people are saying they cried. I really like how everybody kind of just got behind. They really got behind Fuego del Sol, and you can tell that the people really got behind him. Alrighty, guys, here we go. So after this, really quickly, before we get into the actual main event for AEW Rampage, we did have the lineup for AEW Dynamite next week. BTW, for those who are new to this stream, because I know we got some new faces, welcome, people. If you are new to the stream, BTW, I am live 3 times a week. I start on Tuesday. I recap NXT on here. Then I'm back on Wednesdays doing AEW Dynamite, which is my most popular show of the week. Then Fridays, I do SmackDown, and now obviously Rampage, so both SmackDown and Rampage. Also, the 20th, guys, the 20th is the date we have all been talking about. AEW Rampage, the first dance. We're all expecting to see good old CM Punk there. That day, I am going to be in Las Vegas. However, because it's SummerSlam weekend, however, I will still be streaming on here. So I will be streaming live from Las Vegas in my hotel room. So make sure you guys join in for that show as well, because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. But we got our lineup here for AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. We got Darby Allin and Sting versus 2.0 in a Texas Tornado match. That should be fun. We get to see Sting in action. And if you guys all remember what we saw from Sting out of that Double or Nothing match, is that Sting can wow us still. Chris Jericho versus MJF. This is the 5th labor, and Chris Jericho cannot use the Judas effect, and he also cannot come out to the Judas song. So the people are going to have to sing. So we also have Sammy Guevara versus Shawn Spears, and then we also have the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line, in which should be a very fun match where the Young Bucks will be defending their titles against none other than Jurassic Express. So we got a very loaded lineup for Dynamite. We got a super chat from Chris of Combo who says, good way to put Miro over while still giving Fuego a victory in a way. Super happy for Fuego. Exactly. They weren't going to have him lose a title, guys. Like, they just weren't, but they found a really good way to give Fuego del Sol some offense. He went in there. He knew that he had a big challenge ahead of him, and he wrestled that match like he had a big challenge ahead of him. So thank you so much to Chris of Combo for sending in a super chat. Eric wants to know my predictions on the ratings. He wants to know if it's going to be over under 1 million viewers. I do. I'm so bad at this. I'm going to say no. I don't think it'll get hit. I don't think it will surpass the 1 million viewers. I don't think so, based on the recent AEW rating that was like 940,000 something, around 940K. So I'm gonna say no, but I do think that the August 20th edition of AEW Rampage will surpass the 1 million viewers mark. So maybe not this week, but I do see it happening for next week's show because of the whole CM Punk thing and just all of that. I do see it happening for that show, but not this one. But I could be wrong. I'm not a ratings expert. Thank you so much to Eric for sending in this super chat here. I really appreciate it. And let's see what else we got here. We got another one from Christopher Marino who says, did you see Lana's tweet? I did not see Lana's tweet. If somebody wants to tell me, fill me in on that, I would love to know what Lana tweeted because I did not see it. Alrighty, guys. We got people sending in their predictions. We got people predicting 800K, 700K, 850K. Somebody just says that 1 million based on the hype alone. We got a lot of different people hitting a lot of different points here on what they think the rating is going to be. We got another super chat from Colette Adam who says, seeing Sting in the rafters again gave me chills. That's always really fun to see. Yeah. Thank you so much to Colette for sending this in. All right, guys, let's get into this final segment of actually, before we get into the final segment of Rampage, they did do a promo for Rampage, obviously promoting the show on the 20th. And just FYI, they included in that promo video for the promoting Rampage, they did include Darby Allin's promo where he's talking about the best in the world and all of that. That promo from Dynamite, they included that in there. So take that for what you will. They wouldn't put that in there for no reason. Anyways, AEW Women's World Championship match. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defending her title against Red Velvet in the main event. So first and foremost, guys, this was a big deal, okay? At least I think so, okay? And the reason for that is, okay, so on one side, you got Britt Baker, right? Britt Baker's the champion. Obviously, she's now in these high-profile situations. But this is her hometown. So with that being her hometown, obviously she's going to have whatever butterfly she has going into this match. It's the main event. It's on Rampage. But I think this was an even bigger deal, more so for Red Velvet than Britt Baker. And the reason for that is Red Velvet is not at the same level in her career as Britt Baker. We all know that. This was the biggest match of her career so far. She's going up there against Britt Baker, who is super over. And on top of that, she's in her hometown. She's in Britt Baker's hometown. So that's like added, like, everybody's going to be against you. That's against you, that sort of thing. And then she's in the main event of this, debut of Rampage. So like, even though, Britt Baker's your champion, it was the hometown, I did think that this was a massive moment for Red Velvet, especially in her career, because she hasn't been in these super high profile positions. And Britt Baker's obviously a little bit more familiar with that. But before this match, what I really liked that they did, because I thought they were just going to jump right into the match and that was it. But they did something else. They added a pre-match promo, the ones that I like, the ones that I'm actually a fan of, where they have like the split screen. It almost looks like they're FaceTiming each other, or like they're on a podcast or something. Oh, I love when they do those promos, guys. Like I always talk about that on WWE, that I love when they do those promos. So they did that there prior to this match with Red Velvet, Mark Henry, and Britt Baker. And she's basically just talking about how it's her city and she's going to win, etc. But let's get into the match itself. So the match itself was a fun match. But what I liked about it more in particular is that we all know that Britt Baker's the heel, okay? Britt Baker's the heel. Red Velvet's the babyface. However, because this time we were in Britt Baker's city, in her hometown, she was not going to be the heel there. She was going to be the babyface. So I liked that they had Red Velvet work this match like a heel, but also there was a moment where she had a moment to stomp on Britt Baker's injured wrist. She had a moment to stomp on her, but because even though she's a heel for tonight, she is still a babyface. So she kind of hesitated and she didn't do it. Okay. I like that they did that. Then we see them go back and forth with one another. Then we see Red Velvet hit a beautiful moonsault. And then we get to the actual finish. And I liked that earlier portion of the match where she hesitated to stomp on her wrist ended up connecting with the actual finish. So in the finish, we saw Britt is trying to get her into that lockjaw position. So she's trying to get her in that. But Red Velvet finally realizes, okay, she's got to attack that wrist. And she starts like slamming it onto the mat. Okay, so she's finally attacking that wrist of Britt Baker. And then Britt Baker's unable to get the lockjaw in that position because she's injured. Okay, so instead she decides, like a smart baby face, she decides to switch positions, switch the arms, and that is how she is able to lock it in, and that is how she is able to get the win. So it was a smart match, a smart finish, and I thought that both women got over very, very much. So I was a fan of this match, big fan of it. Also, post-match, it doesn't end there. I thought they were going to kind of just end it with Britt Baker essentially having her moment, etc. But instead, she attacks Red Velvet more after the match. And then Chris Statlander comes from behind and tries to help out Red Velvet by attacking Britt Baker. But then instead, we had a returning Jamie Hayter who came in. She's dressed all in black. I think she had a black hat and everything. Comes in, and then she ends up aligning herself with Britt Baker. And if you guys remember, it was the last Dynamite or the Dynamite before that, where Britt Baker basically said in a backstage promo that she was looking to have additional help. And people were wondering like, oh, okay, is she going to bring somebody in? If so, who is it going to be? It was Jamie. Now Jamie's essentially going to be that person that is, on her corner, at least from the looks of it. And for those of you guys who, so I'm not as familiar with Jamie as some other people might be. However, I will give you a quick rundown of what we know, of what I know about Jamie. So Jamie wrestles for Stardom, okay? She did 2 matches with AEW back in 2019, one of which was against Britt Baker, and she lost to Britt Baker during that match. She also wrestled 1 match in NXT UK. I think that was also 2019. So her last matches were actually in 2019, and her last match that she wrestled was 2019 at the Stardom year-end climax event. That was the last match that she had. So obviously, due to COVID, travel restrictions and all of that, that's probably why we haven't seen much of her aside from some of the other stuff that she was dealing with. So there you guys go. Jamie Hayter, what do you guys think of this? Go ahead and send in your thoughts. All right, this one is from AK Germany 96. Thank you so much for sending in a super chat. AK Germany says, Jamie Hayter is a dream signing for me. Obviously, an ex-WWE woman would have popped the crowd more, but Hayter is as good of a free agent as you can get. And yeah, obviously not everybody is going to be familiar with Jamie. I wasn't familiar with Jamie, so obviously I wasn't going to pop because I didn't know much about her. And I'm sure there's other people out there in that same boat. But still, it's exciting to see new women with the company because that is something that we definitely need. So thank you so much to AK Germany 96 for sending in this super chat. And let's see what else we got here. I'm going to scroll through a couple more comments and get your thoughts here. And okay, here we go. This one's from Question the Mark, who says, Jamie is great at working the crowd. Check out her Stardom matches. We got a super chat from Diable37 who says, match was laid out great. Britt is a firm heel now. Oh, I need to put that over. I thought that the match was laid out really well as well. And they had to, guys, like this was the main event. Like there was a lot riding on this match. And I think that they did a really good job at showcasing both women here. Let's see what else we got here. We got a comment from Anthony who says she's a fan of Jamie's before her leave. Glad she's back. Corey points out Jamie was with AEW on the start and mentioned those matches that she had with AEW. And we got another super chat from Robert Palacios who says, do you think that they should have saved the Hayter stuff for Dynamite, right? The Britsburg thing. It felt weird with all of that happening at the end. I think that for a second, look, I would have been fine with literally just Chris Statlander attacking Britt Baker because on this past Dynamite, I was talking about how it looks like they're obviously building Chris Statlander into possibly being an upcoming challenger for Britt Baker. And so I was already kind of like, all right, cool. We know where we're getting with that. Like we know which direction we're headed. So they could have easily ended it there and it would have been fine. But I actually do like this attack from Jamie because instantaneously putting her in this like moment where they know they have a lot of eyeballs and putting her in this moment in this match, I thought is going to get people talking about her. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. And now that she's aligning herself with Britt Baker, it's this whole other element that's now added to Britt Baker and her persona. So I actually think that I liked, and that's the thing though too, is that I think that's what people like from AEW. They like that unexpectedness of they never know what's going to happen. When you think that's it, when you think that's, that's it for the day, they end up adding something a little bit more. So I did not mind the addition of Jamie coming in for the closing of the show. So I was a fan of this. Riv55 says, I saw a lot of people complaining about Hayter. I think everyone has gotten conditioned to expect these big surprise name debuts. Not everyone is going to come from big companies. See, I I don't know if people are mad about, it not being somebody else that they wanted. I get what they mean by that, but at the same time, it's not a guarantee. It's not like if they're saying, oh, we guarantee we're going to get this big star name to come in and surprise you tonight. That was never said. It was never a guarantee. So I actually don't think that there should be a complaint there. Let's see what else we got here. Hate to Pylon says, women's division is building momentum to the women's battle royal where we can see more fresh faces. Rick Shaw says, excited to see more from Hayter. At least, yeah, I think so too. I want to see new women, guys. Like AEW still needs more women and they need to add more variety. And so, yeah, I'm excited whenever we get any of that there. And there you guys go. That is pretty much Rampage. We got another super chat from SD Jones who says, last Hayter match on AEW was in Pittsburgh against Britt Baker. There you go as well. Thank you so much to SD Jones for sending in this super chat. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to read one more comment and then we're going to move on to SmackDown. We got CGent3852 who says, quote, I think it's more that someone that most people doesn't know debuted in the main event segment in the first ever episode. Yeah, so it wasn't like a pop, like a major moment. Again, I do agree with that because even I didn't really know who she was. So, but I wasn't opposed to it though. Like it didn't bother me. It didn't ruin the show for me by any means whatsoever. And Tokyo Knot says, I don't have any idea who that woman was, and commentary did not make her any justice either, but she looked good, so I'm ready to be surprised by her work. I wasn't paying attention to commentary during this, so I don't even know what they said. There are times where I just mute out commentary. It's just natural, so I didn't even get what they said there. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's jump into SmackDown. Do not leave me, everybody. Do not leave me. Some good stuff happened on SmackDown. Stay. All right, guys, here we go. Let's jump into Friday Night SmackDown. We're going to talk about the major moments of the show. So we kind of had a lot of people. Usually a lot of people are not always, in love with what's happening on the product. I get it. Okay. People are talk, all of that. However, this opening segment had everybody, at least mainly everybody that I saw, happy about this segment. Everybody loved the way that SmackDown opened up. We have a super chat from El Fermentada who says, I was hoping for a Mickie James NWA invitation. I wasn't expecting that actually whatsoever. So, but thank you so much for the super chat though. All right. So we had John Cena come out. This segment, guys, lasted 26 minutes, okay? So I'm just going to highlight what was said during this. John Cena comes out, and he starts kind of doing this. I wasn't really a big fan of this, though. The whole, he was calling the crowd a classroom. He was giving Roman Reigns a D on his report card. He was giving a pop quiz to the crowd. I wasn't really feeling that. That was not my favorite part of this here. But then they end up, Roman Reigns ends up coming out, but this is what I was not a fan of. So they had Roman Reigns coming out, and then they cut to a commercial, literally as he's walking down the entrance ramp, okay? They cut to a commercial. We come back from this commercial and he's still in that exact same spot. And I'm thinking, oh man, Roman Reigns literally just had to be standing there for minutes until we came back to this. But we come back to this, okay? And they just kind of go back and forth. And this is really where it starts to get good. So you have John Cena basically talking about how he's the only one who can shut up Roman Reigns. He tells him I had to come out here and I'm the only one who can shut you up. Roman Reigns is kind of telling him dude, it's the same thing over and over. They kind of touched on a lot of the same things that they already touched on in their previous one-on-one promos with each other. So you kind of heard a lot of the same things during this. But then afterwards, he starts to tell Roman Reigns how, they've been pushing him for 10 years, but that, he just kind of goes on from there. And there is this moment, guys, where I kind of felt like this portion of the promo was starting to drag. I thought it was dragging just a little bit. However, because everybody loved it, I kind of feel like maybe my reading of this was wrong because people were really into this. Then Roman, he starts to put over John Cena's Hollywood acting career. He starts to say that, he's good, that he's great in Hollywood, that he was good enough to be the WWE champion. And then he tells them, but you're not good enough to be the Universal Champion. And then Roman Reigns literally hits this like fire of a line, okay? Roman Reigns brings back the whole missionary comment. As you all know, he had mentioned this missionary line in a couple promos before, basically saying that John Cena is boring, just like the missionary position. So he brings it back today, and he basically says that while 25 years of missionary is okay for John Cena, that it was definitely not good enough for Nikki Bella. And I'm thinking, what the hell did Roman Reigns just say that? I thought that was a line that literally had my jaw dropping to the ground. I gasped during this, okay? I thought that was really, really good. Then there was also a moment where John Cena said, quote, "I'm gonna take the title, jump the barricade, and I may even blow you a kiss," a nod to CM Punk. So that was another thing there. So they went back and forth. Again, this whole thing lasted 26 minutes. If you guys want to go out of your way to check this one out, I would, because there was a lot of different things that were said during this that I didn't even highlight. But overall, everybody that I saw was really, really digging this entire face-off between both guys. We got a super chat from Robert Palacios who says, "I'm watching regardless, but the Cena Reigns face-off really sold me for SummerSlam. Like if it was a pay-per-view old school, I would pay pay-per-view money for this match." Hell yeah. Like at the end of the day, you got these big names, John Cena and Roman Reigns. And John Cena does tell Roman Reigns that he's going to pin him 1, 2, 3. And he did the 1, 2, 3 thing a lot throughout this promo. But yeah, I agree. I think that this match was definitely hyping people up. And like I even tweeted, Team Roman Reigns. And I had quite a few people like, no, Team John Cena. I'm okay with that because like we should be excited about who these people are in this match and who you're rooting for. Like everybody should have like some sort of stake as to why they're rooting for the person that they're rooting for. That makes for a good, exciting matchup. And I think that we have that with John Cena and Roman Reigns. So thank you so much to Robert for sending in the super chat. We got another one from Mario Morales who says, "The rest of my check came through for the SmackDown review." Thank you so much, Mario. It's Friday. I'm so happy. It looks like it's payday for everybody. I appreciate your guys' support. I really, really do. Thank you so much to Mario Morales for sending in the super chat. We got another one from Diablo37 who says, "It got really good, but man, it dragged for a second." I agree. I think they could have taken out at least 5 minutes from this promo because it did drag for a while, but because it like had some really good moments, I think that people kind of remember those good moments. So I wouldn't say it was a waste, but it did drag just a second there. All right, guys, here we go. Let's move on from this because after this, we had a title change tonight. We had Apollo Crews defending his Intercontinental Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. And we had both Commander Aziz and Rick Boogs were kicked out of ringside at the top of this match because of interference. They didn't want them there, so they were booted out. This was not a bad match whatsoever, guys. It was a nice little sprint here. Shinsuke Nakamura ended up winning with the Kinshasa. And here's the thing, though, is that while watching this match, even though I knew it was for the Intercontinental title, I was kind of watching it thinking that nothing was going to happen. And by that, I mean, I was expecting some sort of non-finish. I was expecting something to happen so that they dragged this out and so that they prolonged it until SummerSlam. I wasn't expecting for there to be an actual winner, let alone an actual title change. So I will tell you that I was surprised when I saw that Shinsuke Nakamura won this match. I was completely surprised by this, and it was good. I'm glad. I like everything that they've done with Apollo Crews. They've given him a lot of story. They've given him a lot of, little things here and there for this character that he's doing. And I liked everything that they've done with Apollo Crews, but I kind of feel like it's hit a ceiling in the sense that they haven't added anything else. Like, you like him as a champion, sure, okay, but there really isn't anything more there. So I do think that putting the belt on Shinsuke Nakamura was a good call. However, I still think we're going to be seeing Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews for a couple more times here. But either way, happy to see Shinsuke win this title here. And it kind of seems to me that ever since he got that crown, his life has been going up and Baron Corbin's life has been going down. So there is definitely more power in that crown than any of us expected. And we got Joseph Boza saying that he also expected this to happen at SummerSlam and didn't expect it to happen on TV. Sticker Red says Rick Boogs should have always had diplomatic immunity at ringside. He's too entertaining to kick out. I think like after a while, if Rick Boogs is just doing the same thing over and over, I'm not going to mark out for it. Maybe like the first couple of times that I did. It's like, all right, cool. He comes out, wears funky clothes, plays the guitar. It's cool enough, but I've seen it. I've seen it once, twice, 3 times. By like the 10th time, it's just there. For me, at least. All right, guys, let's move on. So after this, we had a match between the Street Profits, Chad Gable, and Otis, the Alpha Academy. This wasn't a bad match whatsoever. It also wasn't the greatest match either. We did see the Street Profits win this match. There was a moment, though, where Montez Ford did a dive to the outside of the ring, but instead of like Otis properly catching him, he kind of like bounced off of Otis. I don't know. It was a really weird moment during this match, but either way, we got the Profits winning. That was kind of about it there. We got a super chat from Anthony Esquivel who says, yo, Salcedo, you going to New Japan Pro Wrestling tomorrow? So a lot of people have been asking me because it's here in Los Angeles. However, I am not going. So the reason I am not going is because tomorrow we have Triple Mania, and I'm supposed to be covering that tomorrow. And I kind of want to watch that show instead. I'll be real with you guys. I'd rather watch that show. So I'm going to be watching that show tomorrow and covering that show tomorrow. And so I'm really looking forward to it, which is why I'm not going to be at the New Japan show, which sucks for me, guys, because I like going to the shows and I wanted to go to the show. But then when I saw that it was on the same day at the exact same time, decisions were made, guys. Decisions had to be made, everybody. But thank you so much to Anthony for sending in this super chat. BTW, if you guys want to catch my review tomorrow of Triple Mania, I'll post the link up on my Twitter account. Sticker Red says, Denise, are you saying boo or boogs? Did I say boo? Well, I meant boogs, guys. You got to understand, my brain is working at 10 miles, a mile a minute, 10 miles a minute. I don't know what to tell you. All right, let's move on. So after this, we had a segment with Seth Rollins. He comes out. He says that Edge is not going to be here tonight. Last week, we had the same thing with Edge. Edge said Seth Rollins was going to be here tonight. Last week, Seth popped up on the screen, and they did that whole thing. But this time, we had huge "We Want Edge" chants. People wanted Edge. We didn't get Edge. Seth Rollins instead plays a video package highlighting his career and essentially burying the career of Edge. He compares Edge starting his career with the Brood, but Rollins starting his career with the Shield. So he makes that comparison. He compares their Money in the Bank briefcase cash-ins, winning the Royal Rumble, and just basically says that he won't hesitate to end Edge's career at SummerSlam. So, okay, it was a fine segment. That was pretty much what happened there. We got a super chat from Cal who says, who is the next AEW World Champion in your opinion? Well, I know we're not talking about AEW right now, but I will answer this. So definitely Kenny Omega still. I'm expecting him to walk out as champion at All Out, especially if he's facing Christian Cage. I'm expecting him to still walk out as champion. After him, I was thinking Hangman Page, but I don't know if that's going to happen so soon. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know how much time off Adam Page is taking. I have no idea. So I feel like my answer would have been I was more confident in my answer maybe like a month ago than I am now. I got to see how things play out. But thank you so much to Cal for sending in this super chat. And you can also rewind to watch the AEW portion of this stream here. And Aaron says that he was surprised that there was no Becky chance during the Seth segment. I was kind of expecting Becky chance here too, not going to lie. I was expecting them, but it was fine. Alrighty, and let's see what else we got here. We got Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio versus Ziggler and Rude. And I kind of felt bad because I kind of feel like this is a match that feels like we've seen it 1 zillion times. However, I went back to look at the match cards and all of that to see how many times they've actually wrestled each other. And it isn't surprisingly that many, but it kind of feels like way more than it was. But anyways, this match it's there, guys. It's not the greatest match ever. Dominic is getting, he's getting in his action and on the ring. He's getting a couple of, moves in on the Dirty Dogs, but then the Usos pop up on the screen, and this causes a distraction. And I'm thinking this is how the match is going to end, but instead, Dominic is still able to get the win for his team. And it's kind of really it, guys. Like, we're still furthering that story with the Mysterios and the Usos, but other than that, there really isn't that much to necessarily care about during that match. We got a super chat from John Williams who says, not sure how it comes across on TV, but live people were pissed about no Edge. I kind of felt that because on TV, I saw that people were like really aggressively chanting, "We want Edge." So, I mean, I'm guessing that obviously if you were there live, you would know better than me, but I'm not surprised by that. People want to see Edge. Like, he gets a pop no matter what when he comes out. We got a super chat from Cal who says, do you think Cena is the best promo in the biz? A lot of people can argue that he's the best promo in the biz, and I think he's a great promo, but I wouldn't consider him the best promo in the business. If my favorite people that did promo work, The Rock, Chris Jericho are my all-time favorites when it comes to promos. My all-time favorites. We got a super chat from Colette Adams says, Corbin stealing the briefcase was the highlight for me. Oh, we will get to that. Baron Corbin was surprisingly a strong highlight of SmackDown and has been the last several weeks. So thank you so much to Colette for sending this in. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Let's see what we got here. We got Baron Corbin. Actually, it's time. Colette Adam led us right into this. Baron Corbin versus Kevin Owens. So this is how this all went down. So as you guys know, Baron Corbin's life is completely falling apart. He comes out. He's asking for money again. He was just on Raw asking for money again. And so he's really going out there and trying to get as much money as he can because he's broke as hell and his life is going down the drain. Also, apparently, I missed this, but he was fined by WWE for violating the WWE dress code, which I thought was hilarious. And apparently there's a video out there that I was like the only person left on this planet that did not see it for some reason. But he comes out and he starts telling the Tulsa crowd that he just needs $1,000 from each fan tonight. If he can get $1,000 from each fan tonight, then he is all good. He even has his credit card scanner with him, so he's prepared to get that 1K from everybody. But instead, Kevin Owens comes out and he basically tells them that, stop asking for money, that he's using people's sympathy, and he basically tells them stop begging. So Owens ends up agreeing to give Corbin the $1,000 that he needs to get him by for just a little bit, only if he can beat him tonight. But then he says if he cannot beat him, that he can no longer ask people for money. He can no longer beg for money. So they end up having this match together. A fun little match here. Kevin Owens' matches are always fun, but Corbin does not win this match. In fact, he loses this match, which means he does not get his $1,000 from Kevin Owens, and he also can no longer beg people for money. And I like this because afterwards, we see him get even more desperate. So he tried to attack Finn Balor during that contract signing with Roman Reigns, and he did attack him. And then you saw him on Raw. He ended up having that match with Drew McIntyre, etc., where he asked him for the $100K. And then he just keeps getting more desperate because now he has stolen the briefcase of Big E. He stole his Money in the Bank briefcase when Big E was not necessarily paying attention, or rather yet expecting it. And here's the thing though, is that technically that briefcase obviously belongs to Big E. That's his Money in the Bank briefcase. However, you can argue that Baron Corbin can indeed cash in that briefcase. And the reason why you can argue this is because on the exact same show, you had John Cena sign a contract with Finn Balor's name on it to face Roman Reigns, and they honored that contract. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville honored that contract. So hell, technically, to be fair, if Baron Corbin wants to cash in Big E's Money in the Bank briefcase, they might as well let him. Now, do I want it to happen? Definitely not. Do I think it's going to happen? Definitely not. But in terms of the logic that we're going by here on SmackDown, it is possible. So let's see what you guys are saying about this. We got a super chat from Robert Palacios. Thank you so much to Robert, who says, Pat McAfee's line of "where did a bum get a scanner" floored me. What do you think of McAfee as a commentator? I think that Pat McAfee is the best thing that ever happened to Michael Cole, because I think Michael Cole was always getting a lot of flack for being like robotic or being too, I don't know, maybe just too Michael Cole, right? But ever since Pat McAfee was incorporated into this duo, now that they're a team, you're starting to see more of this like Michael Cole that you've never seen before. I would even argue that you kind of like Michael Cole even more now with the added addition of Pat McAfee. And I kind of like that, Pat McAfee is this like fun loving type of fella. He's going out there, he's not taking everything so seriously. He's standing up during matches, he's not afraid to mark out, make jokes, and etc. And then you have the polar opposite in Michael Cole, who is like the more like serious, focused. I'm going to do the job because this is how the job is done. So I kind of think that they balance each other out in a fun way. I like Pat McAfee. I think that he has a lot of really good one-liners. And whenever he includes like these like pop culture references, he actually uses timely references instead of like using outdated references, which we hear a lot on commentary. So I think that Pat McAfee, I think he's doing a great job. I'm a fan of what he's doing on the commentary team. I really am. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Everybody's talking about the Baron Corbin thing. Chad West says Corbin is down bad and is doing everything to get on stealing the briefcase, like how he got out of there so fast. Good for him. You know what? He's trying, at least. He's trying to get his life back together. Are we going to keep the poor man down? Definitely not. Dead Mo says Corbin should attempt to cash in Money in the Bank and fail, and Big E loses his chance. Oh, I would feel so bad for Big E. But they would do that to him, though. I would expect it. But I hope they don't, because I want to see Big E have a legitimate chance at actually cashing in a proper way. Alrighty. This is a comment from Josh Bowen in regards to Pat McAfee, and says that he doesn't seem like the corporate type, which is refreshing to see. This is refreshing to see. A lot of the people that you have on commentary and, in these positions are pretty much the same, like copy and paste, the exact same thing. So having people that bring a little bit of life into the programming is a thumbs up, a good thing. Okay. A good thing. And Mario Morales also jokes that Corbin shouldn't be hard to find since he's in the production truck. That's his new home, everybody. Alrighty, let's go ahead and move on from this. After this, we had, we only have one more segment. Wow, okay, here we go. Last segment for SmackDown, guys. We had the Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair contract signing. Contract signings, they usually don't go that great. This one was not bad. It was fine. Sasha comes out. She says she needs witnesses for the contract signing. She brings out Carmella and Zelina Vega. And I'm thinking, where are we going with this? I don't get it. Why do they need to be a part of this? I didn't really know where they were going with this, but it turned out to work out because they get the contract signed and all of that, right? Okay, cool. Bianca, they end up brawling afterwards like they always do in a contract signing. They always end up in the fight. You know that. Bianca has this really cool spot here where she does a front flip over the table where they just signed the contract, and she literally lands on Sasha. Bianca ends up taking out all three women, but at the end, she's outnumbered and they all beat her up. Sasha gets her in the bank statement on top of the table, and she uses her own braid to like choke her, and that is essentially how SmackDown closes out. So overall, it was perfectly fine. I like how they ended up using Zelina and Carmella to essentially outnumber Bianca Belair. So I thought this was a good little way to close the show. Good stuff, guys. Highlights of SmackDown. Definitely the opening segment with John Cena and Roman Reigns, Shinsuke Nakamura winning the title, and Baron Corbin and his sad life. That's been a highlight. And then the contract signing with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. So that is pretty much SmackDown. That is Rampage, everybody. My throat is dry as hell. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the show, for supporting me and checking out these podcasts all the time. I really, really thank you guys so much. I will be back on Tuesday for NXT, and then Wednesday for AEW Dynamite, and then Friday for Rampage and SmackDown. And again, I will be streaming on Friday from Las Vegas. So hopefully that stream goes well. Other than that, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful weekend. And do not forget to follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram at _ Denise Salcedo. And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye.